Greetings everyone, Zannrath here, and welcome back to more Everlasting Summer. And last time we got to our branch point, which is where we are going to diverge between the good and the bad ending, which I think is the first time I've done it in one save file, or at least in one point, right, I guess, because this was Slavia, and then here is where we had our bad ending, and then Lena and bad ending, right, and then this time I actually had just the one file. So let's go ahead and see if we can get through this all in one day, all in one episode, so we don't have to make an additional save file. Don't think it matters, but I'm not going to eat the apple, because, you know. What was it? Was it Snow White who ate an apple? A poisonous apple? Or was that Sleeping Beauty? No, Sleeping Beauty. Right? I think we went over this the first time I, what do you call it? Played through this. Well, it doesn't look like I have to go with Alyssa. It doesn't. At least this guy doesn't say that this does anything in particular. So I guess we'll go ahead and just go with her and see what's up. And Divachevskia goes with you. It was as if Olga Dmitrievna had read my mind. Why is that? Well, who tried to blow up the monument? That makes sense. And if that wasn't enough, who also tried to slander Semyon? When did you try to slander me? Was it the, slander is verbal, right? Or is that libel? Isn't slander written in... No, slander is verbal, right? And libel is written? I don't remember. She said it in such a voice that Alyssa did not dare to argue. Oh yeah, I totally forgot we have to go through the whole little, like, underground maze thing, so this actually might take more than one episode to get to the actual end. Well, I guess we'll have to make two files for Alyssa as well. Too bad. Happy now? She blurted once we were left alone. I think I double-clicked there accidentally. Nope, it's fine. What do I have to do with this? Who was it who tried to blow up the monument? Alyssa grunted and turned away. Wait, did she, like, try to, like... Did she say that I gave her the whatchamacallit, the carbon? Oh yeah, okay, so that's, let me actually go back, and I guess we'll have to read that, because that's slightly different. I'm pretty sure that's probably going to be the same. Why are you here? Why are you standing here? Let's go and see what happened. Can't, yeah, I remember that part. Who did this? Look at the part, you two. Why always me? If, you think so, show me your hands. Divachevsky, yeah, whatever. So what's wrong with them? I looked closer and saw they were smeared with black. Now it's clear. What did you make the bomb with? The junior terrorist seemed to hesitate over whether or not to confess, and she blurted out proudly, activated carbon, saltpeter, and sulfur. Why exactly the monument? What did this honored man ever do to you? Fighter for the rights of... Besides, he gave me activated carbon. She pointed at me with her finger. The whole square stared at me. Thoughts about the pointlessness of this act due to the small bomb size left me at that very moment. She stole it. I did nothing. Even if he gave it to you, I'm sure Semyon would never take part in such a disgusting antisocial act. Well, I mean, it was May Day, right? Not too long ago, so... Yes, exactly. Actually, well, this would have taken place in the summer, and May is not really in the summer. And I guess No, Russia's still Northern Hemisphere, so it's still the same summer for me, in the US. Yes, exactly, I agreed. I could hardly imagine how long she would have kept on scolding Alyssa if Electronic hadn't popped out that very moment, shouting, I found it. Everyone turned toward him. He held a boot in his hand, and that's basically all the same, right? I'm guessing so. I don't remember the harakiri, or whatever that was, though. And then the boy was hit by a bus. I remember that part, though. Anyways, Gwen didn't turn away from me. Cool. Now we're caught up. I'm not going anywhere with you. Oh, yes, you are, little lady. Oh, please don't. Great, then. Excellent. We stood silent. Oh, she's just gonna bail on me? Like I bailed on Olyana. I think I bailed on her in this run-through. Did I? Or has that happened yet? Yeah, it has happened. I'm pretty sure. We stood silently for a while, not looking at each other. I dared break the silence first. Is that all? All what? All that you wanted to tell me? Yes, that's all. Do you mind, then, if I inquire why you tried to blow up the monument? I was bored, of course. Young little anarchist. Right. Blowing it up would have definitely cheered you up. Alyssa seemed really reluctant to go with me. As for me, however, I decided to find Shirk after all. It wasn't him who interested me the most, but the abandoned camp. For some reason, I had a feeling that I might find out something there, and I really did not like the idea of going alone at night. So you're scared then? Oh, I see. Semyon. I see what you're doing here. Using little. I guess that's not really reverse psychology, but you're like goading her into going. Where it's like, it's okay. It's gonna be super scary, and I know you're gonna be scared. She's like, I'm not scared, and I'm gonna go with you because I want to prove that I'm not scared. I'm like, yep, took the bait. Are you daring me? She gave me a sarcastic smile. Oh no, I never. Good luck if you're staying then. I turned around and started walking in the other direction where the old camp should have been. She grabs me by my sleeve, I'm sure. Okay, that works too. Alyssa caught up with me at the edge of the forest. Wait up! I'm going with you. Why didn't you deign to change your mind all of a sudden? I don't know what that word is, but okay. I asked ironically. You don't need to know. She snarled and handed me a flashlight. That was quite wise. Why does everyone just randomly have flashlights? Didn't Slavia run back to her cabin to get a flashlight or something like that? But why does Alyssa just randomly have one? I guess she had to run to catch up to me, so maybe she went back to her cabin. It's okay. I don't know what I would have done there in the dark if it wasn't for Alyssa. Electronic had told us the old building was built right after the war. It looks like a kindergarten or like a barracks, I expected, and definitely could hold fewer pioneers in today's camp. It had been abandoned for about 20 years. Wait, didn't we get this dialogue before? But we actually had the picture of the old building. Like, why is it just the forest still? The night forest was completely unlike the day. Just a couple of hours, it seemed like a small grove where even a blind man wouldn't get lost. I think I've read this before. However, the darkness fell and the trees seemed to grow. Bushes suddenly took up all the free space, and the path so wide and daylight turned into barely visible waves in the dark green forest ocean. The final strokes to this picture were the birds, insects, and the beasts were giving a concert, each with their own instrument, creating together an amazing yet frightening nocturnal symphony. That seems a little good to me, I think. We walked slowly, Alyssa a bit ahead, and me in her wake, trying not to fall too far behind. She acted self-assured to a fault. Absolutely not like me. Every rustle of bushes nearby or hoot of an owl overhead made me cringe and looked around timidly. Of course, it was obvious that there was not much to fear here. The local woods weren't likely to be teeming with wild beasts, and it seemed there were no people at all in this world apart from those in the camp. However, the fear was there on the instinctive level, and I tried to walk carefully and stay as watchful as I could. Discretion is the better part of valor, after all. Alyssa stopped suddenly. So suddenly that I nearly bumped into her. Ooh, from behind too, no less. Now where? What? Well, straight ahead, I guess. Are you sure? I tried to figure out the directions. It looks like we were going the right way, or at least the way suggested by electronic. However, without a map, without GPS or GLONASS navigation, I'm not sure what that is. Is that a Russian thing? Okay. I wasn't even sure that we were still on the same planet, wherever it was. We haven't taken any turns. We've been walking straight forward all the time, just as electronics said. Then why haven't we made it to the old camp yet? How should I know? Alyssa's rude way of talking was already getting on my nerves. Are we lost? Are we already lost? Why would you say that? We are barely a kilometer away from the camp. So what? She looked visibly sadder. So nothing. If you don't like it, you can just go. You can go back. Alyssa eyed me disappointedly for a while, and then her face changed sharply. Well, I will then. She suddenly turned around and started marching briskly back towards the camp. Good luck there, I shouted as she was going. However, Alyssa may be right. We are in fact lost. In which case, it's not a good idea to stay here alone. Cool night breeze blew stronger and I shivered. But going after her would mean losing face, even worse, admitting she's right. No, I'm not ready to accept that. I could have probably spent until morning arguing with myself about this if it weren't for Alyssa's scream. Oh, hey, something happened. Maybe she met the bear. My legs carried me on their own towards where she went. Screen shake. About 20 meters on, I nearly fell into a hole, just managing to jump over at the last moment. Did she fall into the hole? As for Alyssa, it looks like she had not managed to. Oh man. It's just like a good time to like, it's not blackmailing, but like, you know, it's like, hey, well, if you're not gonna be nice to me, like, I'm just gonna leave you in there. You can go, like, you know, have fun with the bear by yourself. Why is there a random hole in there? Is it like a trap? Like, was someone hunting the bear, and then all of a sudden she just fell into the bear trap? Although bear trap should be like those like iron teeth jaw thing, like those kind of traps, not like a hole in the ground, right? I was about to point the flashlight into the darkness when I realized that she had taken it with her. Well, that had to be expected. Are you alive? Yeah. Her muffled voice sounded up from below. Did you break anything? Hell if I know, idiot. A light flickered in the hole. I guess it's a very deep hole then. I stepped closer and bent to it to examine how deep it was. The crumbled hole went about 3 meters into the depths, but it was pitch black below. 3 meters is like, shoot, isn't a meter like a little longer than a yard? So like 10 feet maybe? Help me get out, Alyssa yelled angrily. And how do you imagine I should do that? I don't know, think of something. Well, what do you see now? Describe it. Black, more black, a little bit of dark brown black. Well, it's sort of a tunnel, and now just a tunnel. Oh, well that's okay. So I guess we're gonna find a new way into the bomb shelter, huh? A tunnel? That's weird. Come on, get down here. Is that the best idea you have? I'd rather run to the camp for a rope. You gonna leave me alone here? Alyssa's voice lost much of its impudence. But you're alone down there anyway. Hey. She cried out loud and directed the flashlight right into my eyes. Well, don't panic. Trolls aren't gonna eat you. I'll be back in a flash. Yeah, trolls don't eat you. They just, like, troll you, right? Alyssa was screaming herself into a fit from down below, but I couldn't make out the words. Screen shake. However, I only managed to take a few steps before the ground yielded under my feet, and before I knew it, I was tumbling down. And evidently just bobbing your head up and down. Yep, I'm just going to leave this here for a while just so you can get a little bit nauseous, and then we'll move on. Okay, just kidding. It's still more of it. I grabbed a thin root, and that somehow slowed my fall. Oh, this might be one of those underground tunnels, and maybe one of the little ceiling support things or whatever kind of gave way, and we actually fell into the underground area. So this is our way into it rather than through the actual school building and the trap door, which is why we had that text while we're still in the forest opening rather than at the actual camp, huh? Alright, cool. But it snapped under my weight and went flying down with me. And somehow we're going to be able to conjoin, like meet up in the tunnel, right? You're alive? Hey. Of course, look at that. I barely opened one eye as I felt a searing spotlight upon me. Arg, put it away. Alyssa was squatting next to me, and looking at me in a nervous manner. Any limbs broken? Should have said, hell if I know, idiot, or hell, I don't know, idiot, whatever she said to me. I don't know. I moved my hands and feet, everything seemed to be fine. Except for this weird bone jutting out of my arm. No, I'm just kidding. Given the height, I was pretty lucky to make it down alive. I barely managed to stand up and examine the crash site. Indeed. Oh, wait, didn't we... No, that was in the tunnel. There was a crack, like a hole in the floor, so... Wonder how we fell through the surface to the actual tunnels, because there's another set of tunnels underneath us, right? Unless we're in that second set of tunnels. I don't remember from this graphic. Indeed, we were in some kind of long corridor. There was some kind of heavy wiring along the walls and lamps encased in heavy metal holders attached to the ceiling. In any situation, I would have guessed that it was a subway service tunnel, but it was hardly likely that Sovionok had already reached such a level of infrastructure. Where are we? I don't know, but we have to get out of here. Climbing the crumbled wall was hardly an option. In fact, I was wondering how we even survived the fall from such a height. Well, it seems like we've got to find an exit somewhere else. How do we do that? Alyssa asked, slowly turning pale. Not a single trace of her usual arrogance remained on her face. Well, I guess there's gotta be an exit here, right? Probably, but which way do we go? Now, that's a good question. At first, it seemed like a good idea to head towards the camp, at least in the direction I thought it was, but I hadn't seen anything there that resembled an exit from the catacombs. And that means that we should rather try the opposite direction. Wait, does this mean... Wait, is this the first set of tunnels? Or is this, like, the second one? Like, are we going to eventually get to the bomb shelter? Because we don't actually see the bomb shelter. I wonder if he's going to have that nightmare about it. Give me that. I snatched the flashlight from Melissa's hand and pointed its light into the darkness. That way. Nope, we're going to reach the bomb shelter. We were slowly proceeding forward with Alyssa keeping a firm grip on my hand, and you never actually hold their hands, man. Doesn't look like it here, at least. In other circumstances, I might have been surprised, embarrassed, or even rejoiced, how should I know? But right now, I was just eager to get out of here as soon as possible. Her hair looks a lot more blonde than it is, I guess, orange, but I guess the lighting, because there's some shades of orange. My bruises from the fall were aching, the blood was pulsing in my head like a heavy pendulum. I never knew pendulums pulsed. I thought they just swayed back and forth. Even the flickering spotlights that kept illuminating the same cement walls continually wasn't exactly raising our morale. Wait, how'd you fall through cement then? Or are the walls cement and the ceiling is just dirt? Damn, there's also Shurik. What? Why did he go into the night forest in the first place to find Shurik? Or why did we go into the night forest in the first place to find Shurik? Oh, just forget him. Oh, Alyssa, you're such a good friend. He might have fallen down here just like us. Of course, Alyssa has a point. This wasn't the best time to engage in a search mission. If we don't manage to get out, there would be a search mission for us instead. But I couldn't just take my mind off this thought. It was as if Shurik was standing right before my eyes, giving me a reproachful look. "Look out!" Alyssa yelled. I almost crashed into a massive metal door. The biohazard... How do you almost walk into this door? The biohazard sign immediately caught my eye. This means we're in a bomb shelter, I mumbled under my breath. Yeah, I've heard of something like that. You have? Why didn't you mention it before? How would I know it'd be important? I guess you're right. Fine. I grasped the door's wheel and pushed it as hard as I could, trying to turn it. The rusty metal grated, but refused to budge. Stop slacking, help me. Alyssa hesitated a bit and gripped the handle and started to pull. Wait, I don't think I needed help with any of the other girls. Maybe I'm just weak from my fall. Finally, we managed to turn the wheel and the door opened. Inside, it was hard to mistake the room we entered for anything else. It was definitely a bomb shelter. Cabinets full of gas masks, dry rations, lots of equipment, and stuff that I'm pretty sure I've read before. Alyssa clenched my arm even tighter. What is it? What? In the butt? I said, what? In the what? Yeah, you know that song, right? What? I don't know what she's trying to say there. She blabbered under her breath. Okay. I'm scared. What are you scared of? Indeed, what of? We tumbled down into an abandoned bomb shelter. Now we're wandering here in the dark, trying to find an exit. Oh yeah, nothing to be afraid of. Those mere thoughts made me squirm, and instinctively drew nearer. And I instinctively drew nearer to Alyssa. Oh man, these beds might actually see some action. She didn't say a thing, just blushed a little and turned her back to me. Well, in any case, what? We have to keep searching for an exit. Well, there's another door. Indeed, there was another door on the far wall, just like the one that we came in through. Wait, I know I've been through this this is like the fourth time going to this bomb shelter. I don't remember if I mentioned this before, but don't bomb shelters usually only have one opening, right? So your entrance is your exit. There's no like second door. Or am I misreading that? I'm pretty sure they always have one, right? I don't know. I didn't grow up in that era. However, no matter how hard I tried to open it, it was stuck. Is she gonna give me a crowbar? I need some help. Nope, it's jammed for good. I glanced around the room trying to find something that would work as a lever and noticed a crowbar in the far corner. Great. Alyssa gave me a blank stare. Watch out! However, I couldn't move the handle even an inch, even using the crowbar. Totally exhausted, I flopped on the neatly made bunk and gave a sigh. We have to walk back. But we just came from there. Alyssa seemed to regain a bit of self-control, as well as her usual rudeness. Well, you can stay here if you want. There's water, rations kit, probably the radio's still working. She looked at me spitefully but said nothing. My whole body ached terribly. It was only now I tried to relax that I began to realize how badly... Wait, what? It was only now I tried to relax that I began to realize how badly. I feel like there's a missing part of that sentence. A deep wound... Oh. A deep wound on my leg was bleeding profusely. Is he wearing shorts? I can't remember if he's wearing shorts or not. Like, shouldn't you, like, have been able to see that? Like, at least Alyssa should have been able to see that. My hands were heavily bruised. Blood was thickening in my hair. Why in your hair? And are you okay? And are you okay? I asked Alyssa, either just out of curiosity or because I was really worried about her. There are probably band-aids in here, right? Or bandages. It took her some time to answer. How can we be okay in a situation like this? Well, I mean that... I pointed to the wound on my leg. Oh, cried Alyssa. We need to sanitize it urgently. No need, I'll survive. Man, you're gonna get tetanus. Oh, stop, we must do it or you'll risk getting infected, and then they'll take your leg off. My granddad lost his leg that way in the war. Alyssa looked truly concerned and decided not to argue. Wait, what war are they talking about? So this is the 80s. They have bomb shelters, so it's probably like Cold War is probably at its height. And the last war would have been at least, well, I don't know about Russia, but at least for the US, I think that would have been, well, Vietnam was in the 70s, but I'm guessing they're probably talking about World War II then, because her grandfather would probably, let's say her parents are in she's like 17, right? So her parents are in their 40s. Grandparents, like, let's say, are in their 70s or 80s, right? If her parents are in their mid 40s, her grandparents, let's say 70s. Let's say her grandparents are in their 70s. World War II ended in the mid 40s, so that would have been like, let's say 40 years ago. Grandfather would have been like 30. Yeah, okay, that's reasonable. I think it's World War II. I mean, it's more than likely, but just wanted to confirm. Okay, but it's kind of a long way to the infirmary. Hang on. She's gonna bandage me up. What a nice little nurse she turned out to be. She smiled and started to rummage through the cabinets. There was a fair chance of finding some kind of medicine in a bomb shelter, and soon enough, Alyssa pulled out a first aid kit with a triumphant look. Okay, hold still. Well, I'll try. Treating the wound with the iodine-soaked cotton swab felt like the touch of red-hot iron, of course. I clenched my teeth hard and hissed with pain. Oh, come on, it's not that painful. It is. Maybe you should try it yourself. I mean, yeah, iodine on an actually open wound, not just like a little bit of not bruising, but like scraped skin or whatever. Like that's pretty painful. It was easy. It was easier with my other wounds, and soon enough, I looked like a leopard, all covered in brown spots. Thanks. Don't you think that was anything special? We just had to treat your injuries. Why are you getting so embarrassed about this? Alyssa snorted and turned her back on me. Sure. I refrained from arguing and got up from the bunk. I thought you had like a open wound or something. You said it was bleeding profusely. I don't know. We should bandage him up then. Even a short rest had definitely been good for me. That's probably why he couldn't open the door then, because he actually is pretty injured. Well, shall we go? Back the way we came. Alyssa clenched my arm, walking close in step with me. We headed back slowly, carefully looking for a hole in the ceiling. The tunnel seemed endless. We couldn't find a place where we fell down. Not after 5 nor even 10 minutes. Are we lost? Is this somehow going to loop around to the other end of where the other door, and then eventually we're going to get into like that maze area? Alyssa asked sadly. It might be possible to get lost in the forest. It just came to me that that's exactly what we had accomplished half an hour ago. So to refrain from scaring her, I think, her even further, I continue with confidence. But this is a single straight tunnel. You can't get lost here. So where are we going to end up then? My words didn't seem to calm Alyssa down enough. We'll get out of here. There's always an exit. Really? Of course there is. The workers that built it somehow got back to the surface, didn't they? Well, there's certainly structures out there that, at least in theory, not in theory, how would I say it, urban legend, I guess, where, like, when the workers die, they just put them into the structure. So, hey. Yeah, I guess. It appeared that she was trying hard to look as bold as usual, but it wasn't turning out well. In the dim light, it was evident that Alyssa was shivering. A look of extreme exertion was plastered on her face. Fine, let's move forward. There's the hole. Wait, didn't we get to the hole after the other door in the bomb shelter? So I guess it did loop around? In a few minutes, I noticed a hole in the floor. It looked like a shell crater large enough to get ourselves through. What's down there? Hell if I know. I kneeled and pointed the light downwards. Damp ground, some kind of rail tracks. Must be a mine. Alyssa looked at me questioningly. Of course, we couldn't easily size up the hole, but my instincts insisted that we wouldn't encounter anything good proceeding down the tunnel either. There would be either a dead end or yet another jammed door. On the other hand, I was naive to believe that we would find an exit in the mines. We could give it a try. In the worst case, we'll just come back. It's low enough to let us climb back up later. Her face took on a suffering expression. Then Alyssa turned away from the light and quietly said, "If you say so." As I thought, we were in the mines. Did I read this before? Miles of rust-eaten tracks stretched far away. Down the corridors, I could virtually see the overloaded mine carts creaking along these tracks ages ago. The walls were propped up by rotten beams, and water occasionally dripped from the ceiling. I wasn't sure whether it was scarier here or in the catacombs of the bomb shelter above. I'd say that up there, it was like a post-apocalyptic setting, and down here, occult medievalism reigned. In any case, I was even more eager to get out of here and to do so as soon as possible. Alyssa didn't utter a word as we descended into the mine. She just walked next to me, clenched my hand so hard I started to worry. "Are you alright?" "No," she said quietly. "I understand that it can't be okay, but how are you holding up?" "Fine," she replied with that indifferent tone. That's good, because I really wanted to say because they'll go nuts too. If you go nuts too, it's gonna be a massacre. But we'll find an exit. We'll definitely find one. Yeah. It seemed she didn't... Oh man, I can't read today. It seemed she wouldn't last much longer. We should go faster. Oops, what happened there? Left-clicked accidentally. Or right-click, rather. We should go faster. I quickened my steps, and we reached a fork after a couple of dozen meters. Well, so which way? Alyssa seemed to be completely disconnected from the outer world, and I didn't worry about what would happen to us or how we could leave this place. Well, let's think. To the left or to the right? And what if we get lost? To the left! To the left. I decided to put the mark on the long case, and yeah. So now we're ready to go. To the left, to the left. Boom. Boom. Pretty sure I've read this, so boom, 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 boom. Done. Oops. There you go. Here's something. You think so? Alyssa looked a little refreshed. Wait, can I even open this door? Sure. Frankly speaking, I wasn't sure that there would be an exit behind this door, but it wasn't like that we had any choice anyway. I pulled the handle and somehow opened the door. Nice. We found ourselves in some kind of room that resembled a, yeah. And, Shurek's gonna be here. Shurek, who is that? He stammered. Shurek, we've been looking for you all night, and you're sitting here. Get up. I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've said this. I'm not going anywhere with you. Don't exist. Yep. Also remain silent until now. But then she let go of my hand and took a few steps toward Shurik. What are you doing? I asked quietly. She hesitated for a moment, but proceeded as if not hearing me. Oh, she slapped him, I think. Finally, having come close to the lost pioneer, Alyssa fetched him a scathing slap across the face. You! We nearly died searching for you. Those damned woods at night, the bomb shoulder, those freaking mines. I'm one massive bruises thanks to you. And what are you... And you what? You're just... Or what? And you what? You're just hanging out, drinking booze and seeing pink spiders, you bastard? Pink spiders. Are you saying he's, like, high or something? Shurik stared at her with a bemused look. Now then, get your ass up and move. I'm starting to like Alyssa more. No. He began to whisper quietly. No. Somewhere deep inside me, on the very edge of my awareness, I got a feeling that something really bad was going to happen now. It happened, a premonition, intuition, or just an analysis of the situation from the way Shurik was sitting, or the expression on his face, hinted at his following actions. Uh-oh, someone's gonna get stabbed. Oh, no, this is just gonna happen. That's fine. And probably all that together, I rushed to Alyssa, the light furiously jumping over the wall, jumping all over the room, and highlighting Shurik's face for a second, twisted with madness. It was wielding a metal rod, and if I had been a moment late, he definitely would have smashed in Alyssa's head with it. Oh, at least he's not going for me, I guess. But I made it. I got hit in the head myself, actually. Everything was like a dream. The distant shout of a girl, a hollow thud, the flashlight going out, and the eerie silence except for the heavy breathing of Shurik. It took me a while to come to my senses. What are you doing, you jerk? I checked my arm and it felt okay. The blow landed on the flashlight. So now we're in complete darkness. You won't get it. Won't get me. Get it. What is he? What's it? Is he holding something? Shurik's hysterical laughter was quickly fading away in the distance. Hey, where are you going? Get back here now. Won't get. The yell vanished into the distance. What a freak. I tried to fix the flashlight in the darkness. No way. Shurik had smashed it into pieces with his rod. Then I suddenly thought of Alyssa. Are you okay? I heard a quiet sob, and in the same instant I felt her embrace, hugging me tightly. Okay, it's okay. It's all over now. Everything's fine. Well, in fact, nothing was fine, but I needed her to get a grip on herself. Otherwise, we stood no chance of getting out of here alive. I tenderly caressed her head. Oh, tenderly. I wonder, Alyssa crying, is that a funny thing? Maybe in different circumstances. I'm scared. That's okay, I'm scared too. I noticed a strong and sudden transformation in Alyssa. And what the heck, anyone would be scared in this situation. These situations. Circumstances. Oh my god. Moreover, she's a girl. That's a little sexist, man. But why aren't I scared? No, not scared. Why am I still able to keep my mind clear and speak sense? Might it be because I have to worry about more than just myself? There you go, man. There you go. Okay, come on. We have to get out of here anyway. Hold on, just a sec. Hey, the light's on. Nice. Said Alyssa quietly, and the room became illuminated with a dim flicker of a lighter's flame. Oh, Alyssa, are you a smoker? Not sure if I'll do a smoker. I don't know if I want to do that. Where did that come from? The statue. Oh, right. Oh, okay. She's not a smoker. No, she's just a pyromaniac. Okay, that's good. Because she's trying to blow up the thing. She forced a gentle smile and handed me the lighter. All right. I quickly swept my eyes over the room, searching for something that could be used as a torch. There were some tattered rags and a rod among the debris on the floor. One of the bottles contained some liquid that smelled like industrial alcohol. Ooh, I love ethyl alcohol. I'm assuming it's ethyl. Maybe isopropyl, depending on what industry. For better or for worse, in a minute I was holding something that resembled a flaming torch in my hands. I don't know how long it will last, so we got to move quickly. Where to? Alyssa seemed to be returning to her senses. Let's go back. At least we'll reach the bomb shelter. For one thing, there's light there. It's actually kind of weird that there is light there. Okay, maybe not. I guess the wiring would be intact all these years. She gave me a quiet nod and took my hand. The torch was burning poorly. We had to reignite it every other minute. Wow. That's a really poor torch then. I guess there's not much oxygen down here. That makes sense. One didn't have to be an oracle to predict an extremely short lifespan for that rag we were using. Oh. Eh. I became more and more afraid that we wouldn't leave the darkness in the mine. You couldn't really rely much on just the lighter. However, we reached the hole that led up to the catacombs quite fast. It seemed that I memorized the route after all. And climbed back out. Oh, so we're not going to go through the little grate, because I guess maybe she blew up the little grating or whatever. Actually, no, that would have been like... Because didn't we... Like, the times we rescued Shurek with, I think it was Lena? Or was that Slavia? Actually, both times. Right? Maybe? I don't know. Didn't he have, like, a wrench or whatever? I was going to say, like, in this case, it would have been, well, we get to the thing, and it's like, fortunately, it was blown off because of the little bomb or whatever. We struggled to get up, scrambling over the rocks almost blindly. Okay, where are we going now? Asked Alyssa, getting her breath back. What do you mean? We're going to that room with the bunks and cabinets. Which way is that? I opened my mouth to reply, but suddenly realized that I had not the slightest idea. That's why you always gotta mark your way, man. Not just at that place with the maze. The hole looked the same from all sides, just like the walls, the floor, and the ceiling. We had not a single hint to indicate the right direction. Well, don't you know? Alyssa asked sadly and sat on the ground. No. I replied quickly, put out the torch to preserve it, and sat next to her. Are we going to die here? She rested her head upon my shoulder. Alyssa's voice sounded flat. One might say even calm, or one might even say calm, but I could feel that her body was trembling, either with cold, or with fear, or with both combined. Don't be silly. Surely things are getting worse, but they're still far from we're gonna die. They will come and rescue us in the morning. Olga Dmitrovna will call the cops or the police, so I would love to believe that myself. I see. Yeah. I lost track of time sitting there. I was afraid to go forward or backward. I was afraid to make a choice. Our torch definitely wouldn't last both ways. Wandering in total darkness without any source of light was definitely worse than waiting for the rescue here. This way, at least, we could have some light left for an emergency. Suddenly, a rumbling started echoing in the distance. Well, here's that emergency. That was definitely the clank of door bolts mixed in that rumbling. Get up! I harshly pulled Alyssa to her feet and lit the torch with shaking hands. What is it? She asked in dismay. I don't know, but it seems there's someone. We have to run. To be honest, I wasn't sure that was such a good idea. What if the mad Shurek is there? And, in fact, that's the least of all the evils I can imagine. We had no choice left. The stones scattered beneath our feet. I desperately tried not to fall down, holding my hand with the torch out in front and dragging Alyssa with the other. She ran along in silence, breathing heavily. I really wanted to look back at her, but I didn't have the strength or time. Finally, the outline of the door appeared before us, and I leapt into the bomb shelter, readying myself to fight any foe that was there. But the room was empty, and I think I'll go ahead and leave it at that. So, yep, here's our second file for Alyssa, and I have to say, coming in here with Alyssa has been a lot more eventful, I feel, than with any of the other girls. So it's kind of nice. It's nice that it's actually not just slightly different because you're just going with a different girl and there's a little bit different dialogue, but the events are actually completely different too. So that's a nice touch. Anyways, I guess we'll see what else is going down here in the bomb shelter and what's going to happen because, like I said, it's slightly different. It's different from when we came down here with Slavia and Lena, so don't know what to expect because, well, I don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, we'll hit that up next time, and until then, thank you for watching.